So here's how we're going to present a solution to a problem. So this is problem 13 in section 3.4. So let me run it. And as you see, we have a nice title. This is a PowerPoint, right? So we're going to move on. This is the original problem in the book, the way it looks. So let's present that. What I like to do is I like to extend some of these lines to show interior or alternate interior angles, corresponding angles, etc. Right? So some, not all of them, but some of them that are going to be pertinent to the solution. So you'll see. Next one is we're going to show our solution. In this case, you realize that in this triangle we have all the angles add up to 180. So that means x has to be equal to 40, and there it is. That's the next slide. The next thing we go on is we indicate that this angle here is equal to 40. Why? Well, it's alternate interior angle. These are two parallel lines, right? So that would be an explanation how you would present it to the class. Next is, again, in this triangle, all the angles add up to 180. So that means y has to be equal to 50. And then if I move on to the last slide, here is a final figure. All the angles are in, and also your variables solved are presented. Okay, so I'm going to use this as a reference to draw this, right? So this is from the book. You do have to solve this, right? So you know what angles, if you want to make it look, decent, right? Not just go by eye. I want these angles to be, pretty much perfect, right? So the first thing is I'm going to draw these two these parallel lines. So I go to Illustrator. And in Illustrator you're going to get a template. And in this template, I'm going to use this line right here, and actually I'm going to hold Alt to duplicate that. So here, it wasn't grouped together, so I'll Control G to group, and now I hold Alt, and so this is going to be a little bit too large. If you look at the figure, right, look at the final figure, that line's too large, and doesn't even have any parallel line to it. So I'm going to make it smaller. I'm going to ungroup it, and I'm going to just get rid of this, right? So I could scale this now, and I'll grab the end and just hold Shift, and I think this is a good size. I don't need that. I press Z to zoom in, right? This is the zoom tool, shortcut is Z. So this is my bottom point, right? That's this one down here. Now I need the parallel lines. Okay, now I can get this. Press Alt to duplicate, right? I'm going to rotate this. I'm going to get close to the edge here. It shows me the rotation tool, and I hold Shift, and it constrains me to 45 degrees. So this is going to be, again, this is a little too large, right? So Control Shift G, and that is ungrouping here. You see ungroup, Control Shift G. So if I ungroup it, I could resize this a little bit. Again, I hold Shift. I don't want it to move left and right. And I think, okay, I'll keep this, and I'll just do it by eye right now, okay? And then this is going to be, okay, I need this, so I'm going to bring this over here, and I'm going to need to align this to selection. So if I line them together, I'm talking about these two, I'm going to center them, there it is, and then I'm going to group them. So now I have these grouped. I'm going to hold Alt and Shift, and the Shift just keeps me from going up and down, but it doesn't really matter here. It's not perfect anyway. So this might be okay in terms of size. Okay, I have these two, and of course this is going to be 90 degrees right here. The next thing is we need, if we look over here, we need this 50 degrees. So I'm going to get a vertical, and I'm going to rotate it 40 counterclockwise. So I can get a vertical line. So what I'll do, wrong place, right, is I'll press V. I'll get this line. I press Alt, and then I'll rotate this. Again, go close to the edge and hold Shift. And now I'm going to rotate 40 degrees. So I'm going to get the rotation tool. I'm going to press Alt, and I'm going to rotate down. It doesn't really matter here, but I'll rotate from the anchor. And I'm going to go 40 degrees to counterclockwise. I'm going to make a copy of that. Might need that line. Okay, there it is. So that will be here. And I could extend this now. Just watch your line here, right? So this is extended. So that's my 40 degrees over here. And what's the next one? I need this to be 90 degrees, right? Or I could even do this one. I could do a line and rotate it. If I do a horizontal line, I could rotate it 40 degrees counterclockwise. So either way, so I'm going to make a copy of this. And this is like right here. And like I said, I'm going to rotate it this 40 degrees, this part. If I had a vertical line, I would rotate it 50 degrees clockwise. So I'm going to rotate this again from here. What did I say, 40 degrees? Yeah. So Alt, I hold Alt, and I say from here, and that's 40 degrees. All right. I don't need a copy here. And so now I have my lines. I could position them. Extend this a little bit, right? So I could play around with you know, where they meet and all that stuff. So let's see, this has to extend all the way across. So that means either I move, this has to be right here. I'll move this up. So I'll move this up a little bit. I'll move this in. This has to intersect right there. So that means this is in a little more, right? Okay. And it has to go up. So I think, let's look at it. Yeah, I think it'll be okay. So this will be okay. I could. I don't want to extend this with this tool. If I take this and extend it, what happens is you make your arrow bigger. So what I'm going to use is going to use the subselection tool, and I'm just going to grab the anchor, you see, and I'm going to bring it up to where they meet. And the same thing here. So I'm going to tidy this up a little bit, right? Let me see. This line, I'll work from the bottom. So I have to tidy everything up. I'm going to zoom in and take a look at things, right? Zoom in. I'm going to move this to the right. Okay, that looks pretty good. Move over here. I'm holding space to move along, right? This one, I'm going to shorten. So I'm going to get the anchor. I'm going to hold shift. Get the anchor and bring this up. I think hold shift. And this I'm just going to move so it looks pretty good. So I'm changing the angle just a touch here, but no one's going to notice, right? So by moving that. Okay, and this has to be in here. Okay, and again, I'm holding space, and then I have A, and I'm going to get the anchor and let it connect right there. Maybe a little better right here. Let me undo that. I wanted this anchor right there. All right. And then this has to go down and meet these two right here. Let's see. Right. Okay, and then these two need to go down. So I'm going to hold shift and double click on them. And now just press the down arrow. Let's see how far down. Oh yeah, that's not too bad. So let's, I'm going to Z Alt to zoom out. Am I missing anything? Oops. I think I got all the lines. Okay, so let's put in the dimensions, right? So I'm going to zoom in now, press V, And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to bring this here. It looks a little big, but I'll keep it. I'm going to press Alt, and I have to rotate this. And did I remember how to rotate this? Let me see, 40. Yeah, that's it, 40. It could have been 52, I don't remember. I have to think about that, but it looks like, oops, it looks like it fits. Oh, what did I just do? We do rotate. I grabbed it and made it into a circle. These little things, you can change the corners, right? So anyway, let me zoom in and get it. So V and grab this. Rotate it. Yeah. What about the middle? All right. The middle looks like I was able to grab it. So that looks okay. All right, maybe a little to the left. Using the arrow keys now, trying to get this down. And let's zoom out. Okay. So I think the only thing left is the numbers, right? So the numbers, if I look, I have 40, 50. Actually, I have to go to the original, right? So I have X, Y, and 50. So let me just hold Alt, bring this in. I'm going to zoom in, press Z, zoom in, press V again, Alt, and Alt again. So I think I have my values here. So this was 50 XY, so 50. Using the text tool now, right? Move this over a little bit. Press T for the text tool. This was X. It's capitalized. Let's make this Y. Okay. So I think I have everything. Just to move it along a little bit if you want to rearrange it. Let me zoom out. So I think this is okay. I'm going to bring everything here out of the board, right? I'm going to group these. I'm going to group these. And now I want to center this on the artboard. So I'm going to go to this tool. I'm going to say align to artboard. So center in the middle, vertical, horizontal. But I want to move it up just a little bit. It shows up better in the next step. So this is the... This is now ready to, we're ready to do some work here, right? So now I need to be working with these layers, right? So I'm going to be working with these layers, and the first thing I do is, well, I just make sure to check everything, you have everything that you need, right? So I'm going to duplicate this. I'm going to duplicate this layer. I'm going to hide the layer below it right now. You cannot move this, otherwise it'll look jerky, you know, like things are jumping around. Okay, the first thing I like to do is I know in my solution that these two are parallel, and this is the traversal, and that's going to be significant. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to show that, right? I'm going to show this traversal, so I'm going to extend that. Let's zoom in a little more. So I'm using the A tool, subselection tool, and I think I got that. And then I do this one, this anchor. So this is just a little touch. I mean, technically it's not necessary, but you know, I think people see it clearer if you extend this traversal. So I'm going to move this one up the same way as down there, right? Move this, and I'm going to take the traversal here and show it. So now we have, I think it's clear to see, you have two parallel lines and you have a traversal. So like I said, this will be significant. Okay. So remember not to move anything, because if you move it, it's going to look jerky, right? All right, now I'm going to make a duplicate now, and I'm going to say duplicate. I'm going to hide the other one, and I'm going to start with my solution. So the first solution is I know that 50 plus 90 plus x equals 180. So that's what I'm going to solve first. So I'm going to take this up. Sorry, I'm going to ungroup it. So ungroup it. You go over here, and I think it's Shift Control G, right? And now I could take A, I'm holding Alt, and I'm going to extend this a little bit. I think I rotated, which I didn't want to do. Let's make this a little longer. center it here. So I'm going to put my equation in here, and the equation is that 90 plus 50 plus x equals 180, right? It's like I need some more room to show that, so right there. Next thing, I need some more room to solve for x. I'll get rid of that. So x, okay, I'm getting that uppercase thing. So x equals, and I think it was here, right, in my final solution. So x was 40. Okay, now I have that. I'm going to duplicate that. Hide this one, and I'm going to put 40 in for x. Okay. Duplicate that again. Hide this one. I don't need this anymore for now. Now I'm going to show, so this is 40. Now I'm going to show, let me see, what was this one? This one was the, okay. So now I'm going to do this angle right here, which is alternate interior, right? So I'm going to make a duplicate, and I'm going to drag this one over, make this one 40, and this is alternate interior, right? Okay, and the next one, make another duplicate, and now I'm going to do this equation for here. Actually, I'm going to go to this one and get this, just get that, copy that, and I'm going to place it in place, paste in place. Actually, it's saying it's putting on the same layer, so no, paste in place. Okay, so here's my second equation, right? And this is 90 plus 40 plus y equals, and then y is equal to 50. Okay, so that's my work here. I'm going to duplicate that one more time. Hide this. I'm going to put this, make this 50. So essentially, I'm done. I'm going to duplicate one more time. And I'm just going to give all the variables. So this is x. Oops, gotta be careful here. Hide. So this will be x equals 40. So that's my final solution here. Okay, now we're ready to get this ready for the PowerPoint, right? So we want to put all these images into the PowerPoint. So I'm going to start from the bottom here. And so actually that's not the bottom, right? This is the first one. So just to show you what we have here. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the first one and we're going to export this. We're going to say export as. We're going to select SVG here and we're going to use the artboard. That's very important. I'm going to make a new folder here just to say tutorial. Okay, because I already did this once. Okay, so this is, let's say, problem 13A. Okay, so this is very critical that you say artboard, otherwise you're going to export everything, even things outside the artboard. Okay, I'm going to put this in here. That's my 13A. I'm going to go to the next one, export. Same thing, artboard. I'm going to say, actually, because I didn't save this in the right place, so I'm going to save this. I don't want to continue. I'm going to say save as. And I'm going to put this into tutorial, problem 13. Okay, so now if I go to export, it should take me to that location. So this will be B, And you just have to keep on doing that. B, right? So B, okay. I'll do just a couple more, right? I'll say file, export. This will be C. And again, make sure you do artboard, right? And I'll do one more, and I'll do the rest off camera here. Export, and then this will be 13D. Use artboard, export. Okay, so you would need to do, keep on doing this. So keep on doing this, and eventually, what you're going to do is you're going to get the template here. You're going to use this problem template, right? And we have a starting point here for you. So of course you're going to change this. You're going to say 13, right? And then you're going to go over here, and what you need to do is I'm going to just this has been resized and centered and everything. So what you should do, instead of inserting, replace. It's better to replace because everything's set up. So you're going to say replace, change graphic from file. I'm going to use my original ones, not the ones that I just did, right? So I don't have as many also. Although I really messed up over here. I think this was the first one. So I'm going to replace it. Okay, that's my first one, see? Now I need a duplicate of this, right? So a duplicate, now I'm on 2. And I'm going to now get B. So I'm going to say change from file. And I think this was my B. Like I said, I kind of messed up. So that's where I extended stuff, right? So you see a duplicate, and then I just replace. Now I'm going to replace by C. If I have C, let me see. This was 8, no, by B this time. Okay. So you see, you just keep on replacing, right? And you duplicate the slide, and then you replace it. And now I'm in my C, and you keep on going, right? You keep on going like that. So, so I'm going to open up the original, right? Do I still have it? Yeah. So eventually, you have everything, right? And then if you play, it should, go nicely, and you should be able to talk your way through this as you present to the class.